Yesterday we are discussing what the commentaries have given as when we are practicing Vipassana, we are establishing this Khanika Samadhi, momentary concentration, and it says that Sopihi, that Khanika Samadhi also fixes the mind immovably. Chaitan, Nichalam, Tapeti. Chaitan, the mind, Nichalam, suppresses or calms down. Tapeti, keeping the mind calm with the practice of Khanika Samadhi. When we are practicing Loki Jhana, mundane absorptions, we establish Upachara Samadhi and Apana Samadhi, neighborhood concentration and absorption concentration. Just like that, when we are observing every arising object in the body, with sustained mindfulness leading to deepened concentration, this kind of concentration will be very much like the neighborhood concentration and absorption concentration when we are practicing mundane jhanas. They are of the same quality. Conversely, it goes without saying that not just the Upachara Samadhi and Apana Samadhi have the quality of calming the bhavana mind, meditative mind. That shows that Khanika Samadhi also has the quality of calming the mind, fixing the mind immovably, as if in absorption. To what extent the Khanika Samadhi has to be practiced in order to calm the mind, it is given by this expression, Aramane Nirantaran. Aramane means the presently arising object, as it arises freshly. All the psychophysical phenomena rising through the six sense doors are given by this expression, Aramane. Then we have this Nirantaran, without gap, without interruption, uninterrupted flow. There is only the noting mind continuously, momentarily falling on the object of attention, continuously, so that the preceding concentration is continuous with the succeeding concentration, without any gap. That is given by this expression, Nirantaran. And then to what extent should it be? Ekakarena. Although the object may vary, there are various mind-body objects, such as there is hardness, softness, coarseness, cohesion, flowing property, heat, cold, warmth, stiffness, tension, movement, all sorts. Sometimes the objects seen, visible objects, and so on. All these things come under physical objects, a variety of objects. And when it comes to mentality, it also has a variety of objects, mental objects, such as seeing consciousness, hearing consciousness, tasting consciousness, touching consciousness, thinking consciousness, all sorts of consciousness, all sorts of objects arising in the mind. So however much there may be various variety of objects, as for the Khanika Samadhi, momentary concentration, it arises continuously in one continuous, homogeneous flow. Ekakarena. All the objects differ. The Khanika Samadhi is homogeneously uniform. Of course, there are many objects, and Khanika Samadhi falls on that object, the object and the Khanika Samadhi, the object and the Khanika Samadhi which concentrate on that object, in its respective concentration on respective objects. But the calming effect is the same. It proceeds in a continuous homogeneous flow that is given by the expression ekakarena. Because when the present objects which arise are continuous, and nodi is continuous without any gap, flowing like a current continuously, that is given by the expression pavadamano. Then, what is the effect? Chaitam nichalam tapeti. It fixes the mind immovably. It won't move. The mind will not be shaky. There will be no agitation due to afflictive emotions such as craving or aversion. That is given by this nichalam. Not shaky. The mind is not shaky. Not shaky means it is calm. From calming effect to momentary cessation. Momentarily. Because it calms, there's no shakiness, no agitation, leading to momentary cessation. We just mentioned Upachara Samadhi and Apana Samadhi just casually, without elaboration on these two things. In the case of Upachara Samadhi, this is neighborhood, concentration. It is the forerunner, or it occurs prior to the absorption concentration, Apana Samadhi, Apana Jhana. Only after Upachara Samadhi, there comes the Apana Samadhi. So Upachara Samadhi is a neighborhood concentration, or approximate concentration. As for Apana Samadhi, absorption concentration, it arises when the noting mind penetrates the object of attention, so that the object and the noting mind appears one and the same. So this kind of samadhi that we are talking about, which is same quality as Upachara Samadhi, is the kind of concentration when we are noting the immediately arising object, so that the previous concentration is continuous with the succeeding concentration. The concentration flowing like a current without any interruption, giving rise to Khanika Samadhi continuously. Then it has the same quality on the same footing as the Upachara Samadhi, which occurs in mundane jhana. It has the same quality. At that time, the noting mind is so continuous that there is almost no gap in between, so that the hindrances or obstruction elements have no chance of arising in your stream of consciousness. They cannot enter your stream of consciousness. At times, you are able to note continuously 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes continuously without any gap. There is only the noting consciousness proceeding as regards the objects to be noted, the mind falling calm and collected on the objects noted continuously. At that time, these hindrances don't arise. These obstacles don't come up. They have no chance of arising at that moment. Because Khanika Samadhi is taking the place of the object. The object is occupied by Khanika Samadhi and not giving way, not giving a place to the afflictive emotions, obstacles, the hindrances to occupy your mind, to occupy your object, or to occupy your mind, because your mind is occupied with Kanika Samadhi. So Nivarana, there are only no place for Nivaranas, no chances for Nivaranas to arise, the hindrances to arise. Just the noting mind proceeding continuously. At that moment, the mind is calm, so that the mind, it fixes the mind immovably, so that the mind is not shaky, the mind is not shaken, there's no movement of the mind. That is when your noting mind is proceeding well. So it has, at that time, it has the same quality as the Upachara Samadhi, or neighborhood concentration, or proximate concentration in mundane practice. So it means that this Kanika Samadhi is practiced, cultivated by noting the immediately arising object, energetically sustaining your mindfulness, so as not to allow these hindrances, beginning with the hindrance of sensual desires, to arise in your stream of consciousness. By that, your mind is not shaky, the mind is calm, tranquilized. So, what we have to do is just accumulate this Kanika Samadhi, so that it becomes stronger and stronger, by noting every arising object, energetically, sustaining your mindfulness and deepening your concentration on the object of attention. If you are able to do that for 1 minute, every second, because you are deepening your concentration, you'll be able to do it continuously for 60 seconds. If you are able to do energetically, and the mindfulness is sustained, of course you have to aim your noting mind to the object, so as to be precise. You have to mobilize these mental powers, such as energy, aiming, and so on. If you are able to do that, then Kanika Samadhi will happen. The mind will fall calm and collected momentarily on the object of attention, giving rise to Kanika Samadhi. And in this way, if you continue to do that, your Kanika Samadhi will become more and more powerful, become energized. At this time, your mind will not be oppressed by these afflictive emotions or hindrances to progress. The mind becomes calm. Kanika Samadhi becomes energized, powerful. The mind comes because of Samadhi, concentration. And after that, you build up your Kanika Samadhi, so that your Kanika Samadhi will become extremely powerful, especially at the stage of insight knowledge known as Udiyapaya Jnana, when you are able to note the fast arising and passing away of psychophysical objects. If the Kanika Samadhi is not continuous, then there will be no energy. If you are not energetic enough to build up this Kanika Samadhi so as to be continuous, then there will be no energy. Just like even small things, tiny things are put together, they become wonderfully strong. Such as when you just take the example of fibrous materials, cotton fiber or silk or anything. As regards a single fibrous material or thread, it will not be strong enough. However, when you put these things together, then it will become very strong in a wonderful, wonderful manner. When these things of the same category, in this case, cotton fiber or silk fiber, if you put them together, then it will become a very strong fiber, very, very strong material. So also with the energy. If you are able to cultivate one moment of energy, to be continuous with another moment of energy, without any gap, then you are going to build this Kanika Samadhi in a wonderful manner. Your Kanika Samadhi will become wonderfully strong. So in order to accumulate this Kanika Samadhi, you have to practice in such a way as to be continuous, without leaving any gap. That is the responsibility of the meditators, yogis. That is to practice without any gap. If they are not continuous, if the practice is not continuous, then the Kanika Samadhi will not be strong, will be weak. Like clothings, when the clothings are woven with gaps in them, they will tear very soon. They'll get worn out very, very quickly. If they're done continuously, without any gap, then they will be very strong. They will not tear so quickly. Such is the nature of the practice in building up this Kanika Samadhi. Build up Samadhi in all the four postures, except the time when you are fast asleep, even when you are bending, stretching, or to the extent of closing or opening of your eyes, not to miss anything, not to miss objects, just to note them, so that you'll be able to sustain your mindfulness and cultivate this Kanika Samadhi. In this way, you have to accumulate Kanika Samadhi by cherishing the practice, appreciating the practice. Then only you'll be able to do it continuously, meticulously. Then only the Kanika Samadhi will become strong. But as Sayadaw says, he's watching some yogis, they tend to look here and there without not being mindful. They're moving quickly, stretching, bending quickly. So if they do that, they won't be able to strengthen, to build up their strong Kanika Samadhi. If the Kanika Samadhi is not strong, then they will not be able to calm the mind, fix the mind immovably. Only when the mind is calm, you'll be able to realize the knowledge, beginning with the realities of mind and body, their causal modes, and their universal characteristics. As the Buddha has given, only when your mind is concentrated, you will see things in their true nature. So, only when you are able to cultivate Kanika Samadhi, by noting continuously, will you be able to realize the universal characteristics or true nature of the psychophysical phenomena. If there is no Samadhi, then there will be no knowledge. So, only when there is Samadhi, there will be knowledge. So, this expression, Paripakrina Anabhivuto, when one is not overwhelmed by these opposing elements, not overcome by opposition, then, especially at the higher stages, at the stages of knowledge, such as Udiyabhyanya, the Penga Jnana, knowledge of the fast arising and passing away, and knowledge of dissolution, you will be able to experience or practice or cultivate the Kanika Samadhi in a very powerful manner, as has been given. This kind of Kanika Samadhi at this stage will be more powerful than the Upachara Samadhi, as we have given the first kind of Upachara Samadhi. It will become like Apana Samadhi, absorption, concentration, because your Kanika Samadhi become very much energized. Not just Kanika Samadhi, but becomes so powerful. Not just ordinary Kanika Samadhi, it becomes powerful Kanika Samadhi. Seeing the fleeting momentary nature of experience, seeing the delightful experiences such as piti, rapture, passaddhi, tranquility or calmness. You become very much delighted at this stage. And such experiences can come up at this time. So in this way, because your Khanika Samadhi is able to overcome these opposing afflictive emotions, opposing hindrances, nivranas, you are not oppressed, you are not overcome by these hindrances. It becomes a kind of Khanika Samadhi which has the same quality as Apana Samadhi at this stage. That is absorption, concentration. The highest concentration which you can achieve in mundane practice. So as much as Apana Samadhi is able to calm the mind, so that the mind is not movable, is not shaky, so too, at this stage of Udiyaya Jnana, the fleeting momentary nature of experience, the Khanika Samadhi becomes so strong that the mind will not become shaky, the mind will not be moved by these obstacles. At this stage of insight knowledge, you will be seeing illuminations, lights, in a unique manner, an extraordinary manner. You will be experiencing piti, rapturous feeling. You feel as though you are being lifted up while you are sitting, or you don't want to change your sitting position. You become so delighted at this stage, and your mind and body becomes very cool, calm, levitation of mind and body, softness, malleability, proficiency, and you become very happy at this stage. And also saddha, faith and confidence, will arise in an unusual manner, leading to sustained mindfulness in a unique manner, leading to, again, the knowledge of the things noted. Even you are able to note microscopic details of the object, the nature of the object. At this stage, one comes to definite resolution, known as adhimokkha, such as, this method is excellent. I only come across at this time. I should have practiced this earlier on. And this kind of happiness excels manifold the worldly sensual happiness. And this practice is correct. You are coming to a confirmation. And by practicing respectfully and carefully, you are able to experience these qualities, extraordinary qualities. And this method is correct. The method is correct. And the benefit of the method also is delightful. You come to acceptance and definite confirmation, resolution, such as adhimokkha, strong form of saddha. So this kind of saddha, faith and confidence, is not insignificant. It's very significant, not trifling. This is known as saddha bala, the power of faith and confidence. Your virya energy will progress from weak form of virya to strong form of virya. The strong form of virya, uplifting virya, is known as Bhagahida virya. First, you exert initial launching energy. Then the liberating energy to overcome sluggishness, sloth and torpor. And you are pushing up your energy so that it becomes sustained energy. The energy is being sustained. It is proceeding well, such as known as Arada Virya. And this Arada Virya also has given in the text as Bhagahida Virya, uplifting energy. This means that when you are lifting something, the material will not stagnate in the middle, nor will it fall down. It will only go up and up. Such is known as Pegahida Viriya. And at the higher insight knowledge, stages of insight knowledge, you will come to this Paripurna Viriya, fulfilling energy in a very wonderful manner. At this stage, building up Viriya Bala, the power of energy. At this stage, there will be no sluggishness, no laziness, no laid back, because Viriya is said to have cut it off at 1 over the sluggishness. Viriya has taken the upper hand, so that you become very energetic, diligent, active, wakeful. Such is Viriya Bala at this stage. As it becomes very strong, you'll be able to connect with the ever-arising object without missing them, even microscopic details. Earlier on, your sati, mindfulness, may not be so strong. But at this stage, your sati, mindfulness becomes very sustained, highly sustained. And this is known as Upadhita Sati or Su-Upadhita Sati. Sati which is highly sustained on the object of attention. So that whenever you note, your noting mind will be probably firmly connected with the object to be noted, giving rise to another power known as Sati Bala, the power of mindfulness. And in a very wonderful manner, you'll be able to sustain your mindfulness. In the text at this stage, the text has praised this kind of experience when the sati is very strong, sustained, because it is able to fix the mind, connect the mind with the object in a very wonderful manner. Either sometimes at this stage, if you are thinking about something of the past event, either casually or intentionally, sometimes you'll be able to look back your childhood days, childhood experiences. Even for some people, their experiences in the mother's womb, as though they are seeing them right now in front of them. And the text has praised that such an experience is very much like experiencing abhenya, possessing abhenya, supernatural powers, supernormal powers, seeing the paraloka, other worlds, at close range. And so one is going to experience that. It's quite interesting to hear such events. And sometimes when one thinks about the future also, one may be able to, there are incidences when one is able to see the future events within one's reach. So much is the kind of sati at this stage is wonderful. They are praised like as abhenya, supernormal powers, but they are not real abhenya or supernormal power. They are the result of sustained power of mindfulness with the practice of satipatthana. The Khanika Samadhi becomes extremely strong at this stage, especially at the stage of the fleeting momentary nature of experience, Udiyaya Jnana. Previously, you are observing your mind-body objects in a very coarse manner, but at this stage you are able to experience the microscopic, minute details in a more clear-cut manner. Such is cultivating panya, discriminating knowledge, profound discriminating knowledge, in a very detailed manner, seeing the fitting nature of these mind-body objects in a very wonderful manner. Such is cultivating the panya bala, the power of wisdom. Every time you are able to see things in a fast manner, rising and passing away, in a clear-cut manner, your Vipassana Samadhi, Allah, and the power of Vipassana Samadhi becomes very strong, which make up the Samadhi Khanda concentration group. The power of concentration group is become very sharp, very strong, very powerful, which is samatha, serenity, so that your mind becomes very malleable, soft, and as the time goes on in the course of your practice, at times when you have some thoughts about some objects which can arouse these afflictive emotions such as greed and hatred, although in the initial stage you might be overcome by this greed and hatred, the afflictive emotions, at this stage your mind becomes very calm and indifferent to these objects which used to arouse afflictive emotions. Your mind tends to become very calm at this stage. At this time, even one is not being mindful, resting, so to speak, the gross forms of afflictive emotions such as greed, hatred will not enter one's stream of consciousness. They are said to be calm and suppressed. Although previously they might attack yogi's mind. So, because these gross or coarse forms of afflictive emotions do not arise in one's stream of consciousness at this stage, one can hold high esteem. One will esteem oneself in a highly manner. There will be high esteem of oneself. One can become very proud of it. So much is the power of your mindfulness. So at this stage, without taking rest, without resting, because if you lose mindfulness, these impurities are bound to enter your stream of consciousness, so that your mind will become impure, and then your practice will be disrupted. The impurities, the afflictive emotions will attack you, and you might lose your experiences, delightful experiences, your peace and tranquility. So, thinking about this, having such consideration, you come to possess another kind of power, or bala, known as hiri ottappa bala, moral shame and moral fear, in a very wonderful manner. So, at this stage, because the yogis possess this hiri ottappa, moral shame and moral fear, the impurities will not enter stream of consciousness. They will strive to go on practicing mindfulness, not to allow these impurities to arise. They will practice to strive more and more, leading to stronger and stronger mindfulness, so that your Vipassana Samadhi becomes more and more energized, more and more powerful, and so will be your profound Vipassana knowledge, seeing more and more detailed, microscopic objects. So at this stage, these two powers, mental powers, are very important. And with the possession of these two mental powers, the power of two wholesome mental states, hiri ottappa, you feel ashamed and afraid of losing your mindfulness, losing your knowledge. You are feeling ashamed and fearful of allowing the impurities to enter your stream of consciousness, because you possess these two wholesome mental states. You come to possess the power of two wholesome mental states, namely hiri and ottappa. So long as you are not able to possess these two wholesome mental states, hiri ottappa, moral shame and moral fear, that is being afraid of losing your mindfulness, being ashamed of losing your mindfulness, your practice will be not continuous, it will be discontinuous, there will be gaps, there will be no respite and care about the practice. So in that case, time will take many days, but there will be no difference in your practice, in the result of the practice. Then if there's no difference in the practice, no progress in the practice, you become demoralized. So in order to overcome these affective emotions and to cultivate these wholesome mental states, you've got to do it by yourself and strive to the best of your ability. Only then you'll be able to build up this Viriya Sati Samadhi, which make up Samadhi Khanda, concentration group, or known as Samatha, serenity or tranquility. In short, building up the Khanika Samadhi, the power of momentary concentration, so that these afflictive emotions, negativities will be momentarily extinguished. And if you are able to build up the momentum of overcoming these impurities, then these impurities will be distanced farther and farther away at this stage. And in the beginning, momentary overcoming, momentarily removing these impurities, later on slowly distancing them farther and farther away in the course of the practice, and may be able to do that. So